Swag on the beat.
Swag on the beat.
Swag on the beat.
Hello and welcome to the Swag on the Beat podcast, episode
26.
Welcome.
We did 9 words each there, so you pretty much got the whole thing. Of
Okay,
the intro.
yeah, the intro,
We just
yeah.
went back to a normal intro for this week. Just keep
normally
it
we're
professional.
efficient. Well, we've got a lot to get through, so we want to keep it efficient. Mike,
Yep.
how are you? Good, welcome.
Very good.
Very
Good. Good to be back for
Yeah.
the 26th time.
Yeah,
Nice.
thank you.
And
Yeah,
Jack
yeah.
with a very fresh trim under those headphones
Yeah,
there.
fresh. Yep,
Very fresh and
I
clean.
like the guy finished yesterday, Charlie, my man,
Good
my main man,
Jazza.
and Chaz. Well, he's Charlie.
Oh, you haven't known
He's
him
from
that long.
Lebanon. No, I've known him for my whole life, but he's Lebanon. He's from Lebanon.
He is Lebanon.
He's massive. He's massive. No, he's beautiful. He's Charlie. He's very much
Okay,
Charlie.
okay.
He finished
Charles.
yesterday. He's like, "What do you think?" And I go, "Can I get a little bit? I want to look a bit younger on the side, so
Ooh.
take a little bit off the side. So it's closer to being that kind of mohawky mullet stuff.
Yeah,
but,
got the ears lowered a bit, definitely.
Ears are lowered.
Looks good.
The thing that always bugs me when I get a haircut is it reminds me how red my ears are. Like they just looked really red.
Yeah, I'm glad you said it, man.
yeah, I knew you've been thinking of.
I absolutely never would have noticed. But
yes.
funnily enough, I actually got a haircut on Saturday as well.
Did
and
you?
No one seemed to notice.
I did,
Probably
well, you got a
because of the
beanie
fact that
on.
I'm wearing a beanie. And all of the hair that got cut was underneath the beanie. But I wasn't wearing a beanie when I walked in. I
okay.
just wanted to let that be known.
Wait, when
for
did
the
you get it
record.
on Saturday?
Saturday, yeah. Got a little bit of a
Oh.
front, get rid of some of the front
Oh,
action.
okay, nice.
But yeah, both are freshly trimmed. One more noticeable than
It's
the
like
other.
3 or 4 hairs are removed or something.
17.
17,
It took
okay.
17
Yeah,
off.
yeah,
Yeah, it was
yeah.
a big cut. But yeah, massive show. I'm just seeing behind you, we've got the Comments Hall of Fame on the board there.
Oh, yeah.
That hasn't been updated in a while. We've got 2 names up there.
Yep.
Sam DeSoysa and Luke S.
Yep.
Who were very, very successful comments players.
Yeah, massive.
I seem to remember someone in this room getting one of the top comments on one of the latest videos and not cashing in their Comments Hall of Fame check. Mike, is it true that you had you had the top comment on one of our latest videos?
Was it the Shrek one? The one with the Shrek?
I think it
yeah.
was.
Yeah,
and
yeah.
you had a comment with heaps of likes, and I was waiting for you to claim your place on the
Claim.
Comments Hall of Fame.
I thought I told you guys about it and you said, no, someone beat you. I'm pretty sure you said
Really?
Should we fact check it now? I'm pretty
We could do
sure.
a
I'm
fact
I'm
check.
happy to
I'm
execute.
I mean,
I'm happy.
well,
I'm happy to
no-
go for
no
it.
one
No,
has-
we'll do a fact check. Magic of television.
We checked.
Come
the
back. We
facts.
checked it. It's
a
back.
fact.
It is. But it was.
Regardless, no one else has claimed it. So
Yeah,
I think
yeah.
Mike, you can claim.
Well,
the
I'd
top
love
comment.
to claim it.
Do you remember what your comment was on the
Yeah,
Shrek
it was
video?
the comment. So you guys did a funny video and it mentioned Shrek, and my comment was, "This video is funny and Shrek is also funny." Like this comment if you like it when 2 things are both funny and come together.
Beautiful. Practical and to the point.
Practical and to the point.
People appreciate facts because there's a lot of fake news out there
Yeah,
now.
yeah,
People
yeah.
appreciate
That's
the
it,
facts
that's
laid
it.
out to them. So
it couldn't have been explained. Couldn't have explained the video better.
no. So I think
nice.
we need to put an honorary third member, Mr.
Yeah.
Mike Liberale.
Yep.
Do you want to be Radio Mike on the Hall of Fame, or you're?
No, I want to keep it like everyone else. In fact, I just want to be Mike L. to
Well, because
join
I mean,
Luke
there's
S.
already
both.
no common
There's-
theme.
Yeah.
Ah.
There's a last name and a last name.
Okay, I'll be Radio Mike then.
Okay, Radio Mike.
Yeah.
done.
Okay. Well,
We'll
beauty of television /
We'll do that in the break.
That's done now.
Okay. What I wanted to say is we had a big week in Australia actually because we had the federal election, which was very interesting. Lots happened. There's the same Prime Minister. Great. Everyone move on. However you voted, hope you got what you wanted.
Voting
whatever.
was 50 meters away from my house, which was good.
Wow.
But I pretty much walked straight to the back of the line.
Yeah. Well, I did the thing where I rode to another area and got straight in because you're from an out of area place.
Yeah, that's right. That's
Straight in.
So smart because I was waiting in my line, and as soon as I got to the front of the line,
Yep.
this 5 group of bloody outsiders,
Yeah,
not in
outsiders,
my
yeah.
locale,
Yeah.
came straight to the front of the line,
Yeah,
and
yeah.
the lady was like, "Oh yeah, these guys are from another
Yeah.
electorate," and I was
Well-
like, "Damn."
Well, what I wanted to say was before I knew you could do that, or before it was a tight laneway down the side of, it was at a church where we were voting. Me and my girlfriend were there waiting in line. We were on the bike, and I was standing there with the bike, and there's probably a line of, I don't know, 50 people, but it's next to a church and it's very quiet. Everyone's sort of quietly standing there trying to,
reverent.
you get past all the people trying to hand you flyers and stuff, and then you're sort of like, okay, we're going through the motions, whatever. And we're sort of standing there just imagine 50 people dead silent, right? Is what's happening.
I can imagine it now.
Yep.
It's very silent. It's quiet.
It's quiet. Yeah. And I'm standing there with the bike, and I go turn to whisper something to my girlfriend, and I lean on the horn.
Oh, no.
And the horn on an e-bike is so loud.
So loud.
It's like almost a car horn.
It gives me a fright every time, even when I know it's coming.
And all these, like, everyone turned around, and I go, sorry.
Oh, no.
2 hands up. And then I go, like, not on purpose. And then they're still looking. I go, it wasn't a political maneuver either. And so everyone was just a bit jumpy after that, which was fine. And then we finished that. We kept riding. And then we ended up somewhere where there was local soccer match being played. We're watching the soccer. And I'm standing on the bike again.
No.
I lean onto the horn again, and players look over. I was just like, "We're going."
A local soccer match.
Local soccer match. No, there would have been. There were more people on the field.
There wasn't any vuvuzelas in the crowd that could have masked their bike.
No, it wasn't the 2016 World Cup at all.
Okay.
Anyway, so that I was trigger happy on the horn on the e-bike over the weekend, which was good.
Need to put a little child lock on there.
Yeah.
It is
like
very
a little
loud,
bracket.
though.
It's loud. It works. It bloody works.
And I did use it this morning, actually. Rode the bike into the studio for the first time. We both parked them downstairs.
Yep.
It must have felt nice to have the wind on the scalp almost with the new haircut.
Yeah, real side of the head was cold.
Yeah.
But I overestimated the temperature.
Yeah.
So I was in shorts and a t-shirt, just
that
freezing.
Ambitious.
Anyway, so got here in the end, and massive news.
E-bikes lay off the horn.
E-bikes, election, all that happening. But I wanted to bring up something at the top of the show because we spoke about last week about divvying up the profits from the hats but I have heard from yesterday they're on the way. They're being manufactured. So everyone 11 to 50, if you're waiting, they're on the way. Don't fear. It's all good.
Nice. And we had a couple of stories with the billboard as well, like the tags in the billboard. So those ones are on the way as well.
They are pending on the way.
They will be on the way at some stage.
At some stage, they'll be on the way. There's a little logistical nightmare there, but it's okay. We're moving on. Now, with the profits, I said everyone go away and spend their $1.15 or 5 cents in Mike's case. I've got a new proposition. I don't know if have you bought anything?
I decided
to forget.
I decided affirmatively. I made the decision to save my coins.
Okay.
Because the price of copper, whatever they're made of, I'm anticipating will rise in the future.
Okay.
So I'm going to smelt them for the value of the metal.
Okay, so no sale.
So I haven't spent them.
Okay, well,
but it was because I was going to. I was going to do what you asked of me.
Yeah.
And then I thought, no, I'm taking affirmative action to
the word
not
thought
spend
there
this.
is the one that's getting lost on me. No. What I am suggesting now is you have also made another false promise, I think, in saying that you commissioned an artwork for the Last Supper with the 10 board members and us 3.
Yeah, that's been delayed. That's had some roadblocks.
So, okay. Well, again, I'll take that off your hands for a second with this proposition. We can use the $2.34 to pay a good AI app to do one version of the Last Supper, and we can put in all the photos of the 10 people and 3 photos of us, and whatever the first one it spits out at, because it's about $2 to do a good one.
Okay. We'll have some change.
Well, maybe. Yeah, we'll have 34 cents. We can use it for the next one.
30 cents unless Mike puts his 5 in.
Oh, yeah, well, that's up to Mike.
We wouldn't expect
Happy
him
to donate
Happy-
the 5.
well, that's
we
really-
don't.
that's really
That's
generous
okay,
of you.
mate. Just keep it.
Well, I'm happy to.
Yeah. I suggest we do that, and we only get one shot, no manipulation. So if someone's head sideways or whatever, that you just got to go with it.
Okay.
That gets printed, put on the wall here, and maybe we put up online so people can be like indoctrinated to immortality. It's a Swagger podcast.
Lucky I didn't do anything about it then.
Well, lucky I had another brilliant idea. But I think that maybe we do that.
I'm going to be Jesus, right? And you're Judas. Is that what we decided?
No, well, that's the thing. I think we had to debate that, right? Why are you Jesus?
Oh, because I decided it last time.
No, that doesn't work. Maybe faces rock.
It's the statute of limitations is up. We decided it 2 weeks ago, and now it's you can't change it.
But the task of making it hadn't actually happened. So there must be because Mike could equally be Jesus.
No, but visually speaking, Isaac would have to be. It would be absurd for him not to be Jesus.
But the AI will mesh the two anyway, so it doesn't matter who's Jesus.
It's just
or who's
no
Judas.
one would believe that you're Jesus.
Yeah.
If I walked in the room and said, "Yo, what's up, guys? JC here," people would go, "Okay, praise be." I believe that.
Should we put it to a one-person vote to see what they think they should do? Let's make it random. Oh, okay, I voted that. Let's
put it. We'll put it on the story. We'll let the listeners decide.
Okay, put it on the story.
Unless you'd rather go put your.
You're
place
sounding a lot
yourself
like
above.
Judas. You're manipulating me. You're manipulating me, listeners. Remember that when you vote.
I'm just trying to tell the truth like Jesus.
Today on the story, we'll say who should be Jesus. Poll 1, 2, 3. Mike, Jack, Isaac, whatever. Then it'll be decided.
Let it be.
And then who's the third person? That is Jesus, Judas, and I don't
Was
care
there a
who
Saint
I am.
Michael? Did we?
There was a Saint Michael, yeah. I think
We asked to
we
discuss
had
this
this
last.
exact
Oh,
discussion.
did we?
If there is a Michael, Mike can be him.
Okay,
He,
done.
he slayed the dragon because I was going to bring it
Oh,
up
yeah.
in text from Mum. My mum always sends me videos on
yep.
Facebook
Oh,
of
yeah.
Saint Michael, and she's like, he reminds me so much of you.
Wow, that's cool.
Mike the Dragon Slayer.
Yeah.
Wow, that's cool.
You do have a bit of Dragon Slayer about
Yeah.
you.
Thanks, man.
I just got sacrificed by Abraham. That's all I got.
Yeah,
Yeah.
true. We all have biblical names except Jack. And another reason why
I'm
you
the
shouldn't be
closest
making
name to
decisions.
Jesus.
Jack, it's time for a very exciting round 2 of...
Impression game.
Oh, yeah.
We cannot wait.
A couple of
Huge
tritones
response
there.
from last week, which
Yeah.
we love. What's a tritone, by the way, if you're doing some
Tritone,
music,
the
music?
devil's interval. It's
Yeah.
6 semitones. That's the intervals in the Simpsons intro there. Just a little bit
Yeah,
of...
right. An illegal
knowledge.
musical note to play in a certain period of time.
Yeah, popularized by Black Sabbath.
Yeah.
And some people had to walk out of their concerts when they first started playing that
Yep.
interval because they thought it was summoning the devil.
Yep.
Which it was.
There you go.
So
On with the game. Yeah.
Simpsons, no devils involved there. So we've had a lot of great suggestions for impressions to do. So keep sending them through.
Thank you for
because
sending them in, by the way. It was
yeah,
awesome.
We're
we love seeing
excited.
them.
We're excited to dig into it. And this week we've got a couple of impressions that I got sent by Ben.
Yep.
And you guys, Jack and Mike, are not privy to what
Well,
the
'cause
impressions we're going to do.
You said we've just got an email that I like. Don't read email from Ben.
Yeah.
So I've gone, okay,
It,
hands
it,
up.
it was probably like an hour after
Yeah.
the episode went up.
Yeah, it
So
was
Ben
great.
was quick on it.
Yeah.
And I was excited. I thought these are perfect impressions for round 2. So I thought I
I've
should
won.
not let you know.
So we don't know what it is, but I've one question because not all of the ones that I saw coming through were Simpsons. Is this a Simpsons?
No,
one? Not
it's-
Simpsons.
It's
okay.
not, and I can
Broadening the
confidently,
palette.
I can confidently say that
Yeah.
I haven't been illegally practicing like
That
while
was
you guys don't know
That was my
about
next
it.
question.
I will admit I did one of each just to make sure that
just
it
to make
was
sure it's funny.
essentially
Wow,
yeah.
wow.
But I mean, we've got to get it here somehow.
Well, you
and
better have a good legal team to win.
Okay, so I reckon let's dig into, or let's say g'day to the suggester of the
Oh, yeah.
impression. His name is Ben. He's on the line. Ben, how you going?
Hey boys, how you going?
Very well, thanks.
well,
Thanks
thanks,
for
Ben.
coming on. So I think now is probably the time where, Ben, you can reveal to Jack and Mike what the impressions are that we're going to do today.
Okay, so I'm judging the Shaggy and Scooby impressions from sort of those late 2000s movies.
Scooby Doo and Shaggy. No, I know you're doing it in your mind right now. No out loud practices.
Yeah, but, okay.
And Mike actually mentioned Thelma in the warm up.
Thelma.
Yeah, I did
Velma.
see your eyebrows rise a lot more than usual when
Yeah,
you said
it
that.
was hard not to.
I'll be honest, I didn't watch that much Scooby Doo. So
Okay.
I feel like, do I get a kind of listen?
Well,
Can I have a listen?
maybe.
So I feel like the laugh of Scooby Doo is pretty iconic, but Shaggy's a bit of a tough one.
Yeah.
So
Well,
Shaggy's the human.
yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
Oh wow.
Hey, come on, hey, come on. I'm already back against the wall here.
I didn't anticipate this wasn't common knowledge to
Yeah,
our generation.
well,
but
man.
maybe let's make it, Mike. I know you've said you've got the randomized order of
Yeah.
impressions.
Oh, yeah.
Is Jack not, as long as Jack's not first?
Jack is not first.
Okay.
Well, we haven't spun the wheel yet,
you
so we
haven't?
don't
No.
actually. Just for everyone at home, we haven't spun the wheel yet, so we don't actually know
That's
the order.
something that I wanted to bring up as
Hasn't
well.
been done pre-game.
What do we think about the wheel, the whole wheel?
What do you mean?
I think we should just I think we should ditch the wheel for this segment.
Okay.
I feel like there was too much wheel.
Oh, too much wheel.
Well, there was three different wheel spins, and I think I reckon for the intensity of it all, I think we should just go one to the other.
But, okay, but maybe it's like the wheel
Spins
has this
the original
ability.
order.
Well, the wheel has 3 segments on each option, so that when we spin it, we know who the whole order from one spin, so we don't have to do it.
Yeah,
So
I
it
suppose-
does every possible combination.
well, I mean,
so
it
let's
would
do
have
that.
It would have the same order. It's just who goes first because the wheel, unless it's some 4D wheel that can morph into different orders. Otherwise, the names would all be going in the same order around the wheel.
No, but like, so say you've got 3 wedges.
Each wedge
it's like,
has a different.
So you're at the top, then it's Jack, then
Okay.
it's Mike, and then the next one has Jack.
Okay, I'll give you one
Mike.
wheel spin.
Well, there's 6 possible combinations.
Yeah, so there's
for
6
3
wedges,
people.
yeah.
There's 6 wedges. Yeah.
Okay.
Okay.
I think so. Because
Is there 6?
everyone
think
loves
there's-
the sound of a real wheel spinning, so I think we want to keep
There's
that
9.
Is there 9? Look, should we just quickly do them? So there's
Let's just-
Jack, Isaac, Mike, Isaac. Anyway, I think there's 6.
But I think we can do one wheel spin and sort it out from there.
Yeah, I agree,
because
I
you know
agree, I
the
agree.
wheel that's just outside camera, it can actually be.
Yeah,
We
okay.
can move it around and make it right
Alright,
for us
yeah.
now.
We'll
But I
go
hope
the other way
Ben's
around.
still
So that's
got
right.
phone battery after this.
So, apologies, Ben, but we're going to spin the wheel once to determine the order and make sure or hope that Jack isn't first, so he can.
well,
get
if
a
I
little
am,
sneak
that's
peek.
my fault for not knowing
Okay.
it well enough.
Part of the
Okay,
game,
so-
or-
And am I doing the dog or the human first?
Ben,
Ben?
what do you reckon, Judge? Scooby or Shaggy first?
Or I'll give you Scooby first.
So Ben, you tell us what you want us to say with Scooby, but say it in a human voice.
Oh,
Well, I would do Scooby's laugh. I think is the impression. You know, like
Okay.
Do you want me to give you?
Oh.
If I can give you a little bit of a demo.
I was going to say, can I say, doesn't he say Shaggy
Yeah,
as a dog?
I was gonna go for how he says "Okay, Shaggy."
Yeah, or
Which
like
bit?
oh Shaggy.
Yeah. I
Okay.
think any of those is fair.
Okay.
Yeah,
Let's just do them both at once. Each
Yeah,
person does
yeah.
both of the impressions at once.
Okay.
And
So you lead it so that like you're keeping the segment going.
yeah. I'll
okay.
be the narrator, but Ben
Yeah.
won't be privy to who is doing the impression.
Okay. And if
Okay.
you want to play along at home, turn off your Spotify video for a second.
Yeah, exactly.
And
Ben,
play along.
Ben reckons he can do a solid one, so I reckon
Oh,
we'll hear from Ben at the end to show us.
And then
how
we
it's done.
can consensus-vise to see if he did the best one.
Okay,
But
sounds
if the
good.
ego's there, then he won't.
Okay, all right, Ben, you ready to roll?
yeah. Let's go.
Okay, Mark, spin that wheel.
Okay, here we go.
The one and only spin. Okay, wow. Okay,
Wow,
I do see what you
beautiful
mean. Yeah,
spin.
the
Oh.
wedges.
Okay.
Oh, okay, it's landed.
Yeah.
All right.
Ooh, okay. Mike.
Okay, Mark's going to point to who it is. All right, the first impression is coming up.
Okay, Raggy. Oh, Scoob.
Okay, now the second impression is coming up now.
Like gee, Scooby. Okay, Raggy. Rooby dooby doo.
These are good.
Okay, okay. And the third and final impression is coming now.
Okay, Shaggy. Scooby dooby doo. Oh, Scoob. What are you doing?
Okay. Wait,
Okay. That's the
So
end of the game.
before any comments by us, Ben,
Yeah.
what would you think of those three?
Oh, they were probably the wildest impressions I've ever heard.
Okay, is there a clear winner for you? 1, 2, or 3?
I really like 2. I reckon.
Wow.
2. Yeah, that was Mike.
That's
well
Mike.
done, Mike.
Thank you so much, Ben.
Wow, well
I agree.
done.
That was good. I think
Yeah,
I think it was the Ruby Dooby Doo.
Can I ask? Was 3 Jack?
Yeah, it was. What gave it away?
Yeah.
The distorted speakers on my phone. I reckon.
Oh, I was yelling.
Fair
yeah,
enough.
okay,
And
yeah.
also, the thing with Scooby Doo is that he just starts every word with R. So it's
Oh.
like, it's like okay, Raggy.
Oh,
Ruby
okay.
Dooby Doo.
Right.
Jack was just like, hello, how you going, mate?
Well, the human, when I would go to do the human, who was it? What's his Shaggy?
Shaggy.
No
Shaggy.
idea. I just
Just mimicked him. That was
no
pretty good.
idea.
Shaggy was pretty good. Ben,
okay.
yes, thank you for. I think that was probably
maybe
Mike was clear.
Maybe
there.
to top us off, we get Ben, the experts, go at it.
I think so, Ben.
Take-
We've spun the wheel a second time and it's
Yeah.
landed on your name, mate. Can you give us a
Yeah,
go of
let's go.
Shaggy and Scooby, please?
Okay. I'll start off with Scooby.
Oh, Raggy. Ree.
That's good.
Is it? Yeah.
Like Scoob. I don't know about this place, man.
Oh, that's really,
That's-
really good.
That's almost Hall of Fame.
I think that's Impression Hall of Fame. We need to make a new Hall of Fame there.
Got
Even
a new plaque.
even Jack's eyes lit up in the Shaggy voice, and you just said you
Doesn't
didn't
he?
know what he sounded
Yeah,
like.
but like
It tweaked something in your memory
like
because of how good that was.
rebooted a file that was in the back of my head that I hadn't used for a long
Wow.
time. So yeah,
Okay,
fantastic.
well, we need to get some kind of Impression Hall of Fame made up because that was awesome, Ben.
Yeah, send in more. But if you reckon you can do better than Ben, also
Or just equally as good on
Equally
the
as
Hall
good
of
as
Fame.
Ben. Yeah,
it's probably
that's
not
great.
an ordered Hall
Oh,
of
it's
Fame.
not an ordered Hall
It's
of Fame,
ordered
yeah.
by time, like
Yeah,
the Comments Hall of Fame.
okay.
So Ben is probably going to be the first one up there.
Wow.
But Ben, well done. That was great impressions.
Yeah, well done.
And good suggestion. Thanks so much for coming on, mate.
Rory.
Isaac, I think people would agree with us when we say, we don't go around inciting violence or, trying to put other people down in any form of what we put out to the public.
I would hope they would agree with that.
Our sketches, they're, relatively accessible to all audiences. We're not picking on someone purposely. Maybe the same way. Like, it just doesn't, it's not where we sit where we muck around.
Behind the camera, it's a different
Oh,
story.
you
You're
wouldn't
always
believe what we
picking
get
on
up
me.
to. No, never. But I don't stand for things that are unjust.
Okay.
So when
sit down
I
for
bring this up, just keep that in mind, listeners, that we don't actually like doing this, but there has been a grenade thrown into our corner. And I'm just gonna respond to it. And there was no pin in the grenade, so it's meant as an attack.
So are you jumping over it and saving me and Mike, or are you taking the risk to piff it?
Well,
maybe blowing all of us up?
Again, I don't want to throw it back. But if it's not meant for our backyard, maybe it is supposed to go back.
Okay.
Anyway. But
if you have a bomb-proof pot plant, maybe you could chuck that over the top of it.
Well, it's actually, the grenade was aimed at one of us.
Okay.
Particularly, not the whole show as not the show as a whole, but it was aimed at Mike.
Oh, no.
A grenade has been thrown at Mike.
Oh, no.
And as a member of the team that Mike is a part of, I felt compelled to do something about it.
Mm-hmm.
And it felt unfair to not, stand up for someone who was on our team.
Mm-hmm.
And Mike, out of the three people here, is the latest member of the team, I would say.
Mm-hmm.
And it felt like it was owed to him to stand up to it. And I'm going on ad nauseum here, but I'm trying to make sure I pitch it the right way.
Okay, you got to go into battle for your homeboys.
Got to go into battle. Mike came from another show.
Oh, really?
He came from another show.
Can I say, I didn't know there was a grenade. So I'm walking around half exploded.
About to get your head blown.
You can thank me for noticing these things. But Radio Mike came from another show. Okay. There's been a lot of public hoopla about him coming from that show and leaving that show. Okay. And that's fine. But you would think that, I'm sure, Mike, you had an affinity with these people before you left. And I'm sure they were lovely people to work with. But my expectation of people would usually to be say, we wish Mike the very best and he's going on to bigger and better things. You would expect that to be something an outgoing person would say to not only a colleague but a friend, obviously a friend.
Yeah, and I don't know who these people that you used to work for are, but I can only assume that coming to this show is you moving on to bigger and better things.
Yeah. But... and I don't scream out of nervousness.
It's a confident scream.
It's a confident scream.
It's an assertive
It's a
squeal.
scream of I'm hot shit is what it is. But the quote that we expected didn't really come about like this. Okay. And I do have the quote, and it is, Mike's not going on to better things, just on to other things. And we take that as an attack on Mike and on the show.
Us more so, I think.
So what I want to do is nip it in the bud.
Mm-hmm.
So what I did, Mike, on your behalf, is I actually went onto Google Trends and put in Radio Mike into Google.
Oh.
And I've got the graph here. You can look at it if you like. Don't have to, but you can if you like.
Please, I love a good graph.
Yeah. And you can see quite clearly, Isaac, if I turn the camera this way, that...
So
Mike came onto the show probably 6 months ago. Mm-hmm. And since then, there has been a significant upwards tick in Google Trends for the name Radio Mike on Google.
Wow.
Which suggests to me that he has in fact gone on to bigger and better things, because I don't know what metric these guys are using for their ability to say who's doing bigger and better things. But if they find a better search engine or data center than Google, let us know. We're willing to talk.
Yeah.
But as objective truth goes, there has been an uptick in Google Trends for Radio Mike on Google. So we just wanted to nip it in the bud and say, hey, we will not be accepting that. We'll be standing up for our new team member.
People are clearly going onto Google and searching, why has Radio Mike joined the Swag on the Beat podcast?
Yeah.
Because they started listening to this podcast.
Yeah. Finally, I know who Radio Mike is now. Things of that nature.
Yeah.
Anyway, so I just wanted to nip it in the bud there.
Yep. Just nip it in the bud.
Nip it in the bud. The last thing that I would want is for these people to respond. The last thing I would want is that.
I don't want terrible. Whomever they may be.
And I wouldn't expect them to respond because they've got nothing to say. I wouldn't even want an apology. I wouldn't even want, I'll go this far, I wouldn't even want an acknowledgement of the fact that this happened, because that would be wasting time. the last thing I want is to start a year-long arc of a feud between the two shows. I would hate that.
Okay, just to be clear, that is the last thing you would
That's
want.
the last thing I'd want. I'm not even want an acknowledgement. I don't want any sort of, chat between us at all
Well,
about this.
you probably don't even want to keep talking
Waste
about
of time. I'm getting sick of talking about it. But I just want to say, Mike, we will stand up for you as a member of the show.
Thank you.
And we're sure these people are nice people. We're sure you have an affinity with them at one point in time. Maybe you don't now after what they've said. But
I'm actually fine. I'm fine.
no, don't,
mate, it's okay.
no.
We got you, Mike.
Don't
You
look
don't need
tough
to-
in front of the camera.
yeah.
Sometimes in your career, you have to go from one fledgling comedy duo to another.
Yeah.
Everyone knows that. It's an
they do.
age-old adage.
But even if that initial fledgling comedy duo has negative things to say about the new one, we're going to defend you.
Thank you.
So
all I'm
what we're going to
saying
say
is
is they can't hurt you anymore.
These pastures are pretty green. That's all I'm saying.
Green pastures. I hope and pray that they don't acknowledge this in any form.
I really hope
because it
so
would be a
too.
complete waste of time.
Yeah, I really hope that.
Anyway,
as well.
that's all I wanted to talk about.
Let the record show that I hope that too.
Yeah, good.
All the
So-
things that you have said that
Yep.
you hope.
Yep.
I hope as well.
Great, as long as we're aligned, and that's the I think that's the big difference between that team and this team is everyone's aligned and together. And if you left, someone else left, we'd be happy for them and would wish them well,
Well-wishing.
and hope they go on to bigger and better things, which Mike has done. Unfortunately, they can't admit that. Anyway, let's wrap it up before we get killed.
Jack, I wanted to try something today. As we're getting more used to podcasting, we are having to employ the use of segues a bit more.
Sure.
It's a handy tool to get from one topic to another. And especially in the intro, sometimes we have to, if we're talking about something in intro and we need to get to what we're talking about, we'll have to use a segue.
Yep.
But it's hard. They're hard. You got to think on your feet. It's hard getting a good segue, a seamless segue from one topic to the next.
Sure.
And I what made me think of this was on last week's episode, I had a go at it in the intro. I identified a possible segue with what we were talking about to what I wanted to talk about first.
Right.
And it went okay, but we've got the recording here. Podcast episode 25.
Oh yeah, great.
That worked all
Three
right.
words each, pretty smooth actually. I think there was 9 words in total.
Yeah.
And it worked perfectly. So welcome to the show, everyone.
Perfectly divisible by 3,
Yeah.
which leads me to what I wanted to just broach briefly to you.
Okay.
It's been a big week for dates with good numbers this week.
Okay.
So it was a number segue. Not bad, not great.
I remember
there was a few
that.
stumbles there. I
I
think.
thought it was pretty good.
Yeah, it was okay.
So you're saying that the segue was number-related chat about
Yeah.
the number of
Not-
words in
yeah.
the intro, and now
9 was divisible by 3. I
Yeah.
wanted to talk about the numbers.
right.
and dates.
Okay, so that's the skill.
That's an example of a segue
Yep.
of 2 topics that can be segued.
Yeah.
But it was. I'd give it a 5.5 out of 10.
Because I feel like I find myself going like, now what I really wanted to talk about was,
Yes.
and then just going, "Doosh."
Well, that's what I'm saying. I think we need some practice.
Oh, okay,
I think
good.
we need some practice
Oh,
on getting
great.
better at these segues.
It's like this is like professional development date swag podcast.
Exactly. So I thought we could have a little game,
Mm-hmm.
and I think Mike should play as well because he's involved in moving from topics to the next on this podcast occasionally.
And very good at it too.
Yeah, I think Mike's going to be better at this than us just
Yeah,
quietly.
yeah.
But so what the game is, the segue game, I've got a hat full of random topics,
Okay.
and we're each going to pick out 2 topics, and we're going to have to get from one to the other. So I'll start the conversation with the topic you pick out first, and
Right.
then we'll tell the listeners what the 2 topics are, and
Yep.
each of us have to get to the second topic through a back and forth conversation and identify a good spot to do a segue.
So the other 2 people don't know what your topic is you have to get to.
No, everyone knows.
Okay.
It'll be like, say you pick out football and Barack Obama.
Right.
I'll say, man, did you see the footy on the weekend?
Right.
And then you have to get to Barack Obama.
Yep.
Or there's a bit more point to the topics.
Okay.
Like there's a bit
But,
more.
but
of a
are
thing.
you trying to help me get there, or
No, I'm
is
just
it-
going to have a normal conversation
Okay.
with you. And
Oh,
you have to
okay.
try and steer the conversation towards Barack Obama. And then
Okay.
having a good and clean and quick segue, something along the lines of, which reminds me, did you see that this happened? Because whatever the topic
Is there a
leads to.
limit on how long you can to like?
No, but it is a criteria. So
Okay. Sliding scale.
Yeah, so it's
Yeah.
smoothness of the segue and speediness.
Okay.
So if you can get
Oh,
there
okay, in one
quicker,
go, bang.
it definitely bodes well for
Okay,
you. So
okay.
does that make sense, Jack and Mike?
Yep.
Okay, so before we get underway, as you said last week, every good game has a good intro.
Yeah.
It's a con.
Sorry, I pressed the
Wow,
wrong
I
one.
think
Sorry.
we can chalk that up. We'll chalk that down as the first mistake. That's the first ever mistake Mike has made. 26 episodes
Yeah.
in.
Call him radio mistake.
Wow. All right, this is
Radio Mike steak.
this is the proper intro here. We'll never mention that again.
That segue, I liked it. That segue, I liked it. That's
Wow.
very nice. Casey and the Sunshine Band.
Another good intro, I think, from us, which is good. We sounded okay as a duet.
I thought that sounded all right. Yeah.
Yeah.
Mike would be proud.
Yeah,
Music,
good
Mike.
singing.
Thank you.
Well, especially because I didn't know what the game was, so I was like, you just like sing this.
Yeah, you did well. Okay, so I've got 6 topics in a hat here.
Yep.
And we can pull out of the hat 2 topics.
Yep.
And let's get started with the Segue game. Do you want to go first?
Sure.
All right, so Jack, pick 2 topics out of there. The first one you pick, read out and give it to me.
There's water on Mars.
Okay, so that's what
I'll
I'm
give
going
that
to
to you.
start the conversation with.
Okay. And then this one is
You have to get 2.
garbage bins have gotten way smaller.
Okay. Yep.
Okay.
That's how you have to get to. No thinking. All right, you ready? Round 1.
Yep.
Crazy how there's water on Mars, hey?
Well, is that the whole reason Elon Musk is going there?
Well, maybe if he wants to put a settlement there, you'd have to assume that seeing as humans came from water on Earth,
Yeah.
there must be some chances of life on Mars given there's water there.
Because like apparently what he's trying to make a civilization there. Imagine the council rates
Oh,
at a
geez,
place like that.
They'd be
Oh,
through the roof.
God, ludicrous. Imagine the size of the bins you'd get. They'd be so tiny because they'd be so expensive. By the way, have you not noticed how small bins are these days? Oh God,
Wow, I have noticed. They're
gosh,
tiny.
that is annoying. Anyway, what do you want to
Okay.
talk about, man?
Not bad. Not bad.
Pretty
Not
like
bad.
round hole square peg
Yeah,
scenario.
I like
but
it. I think you can take a bit longer
Bit
than
more
that.
time. Okay,
Yeah,
I was
but
feeling the time pressure.
that's good.
there.
Round 1. Okay, round 2. Mike's coming round. He's going to grab 2 out of the hat.
Okay, here comes Mike. First time on camera. Have a look. If there he is.
Hello, Mike. So do you want to speak into my mic? What it is?
The election or the electron?
It's the election.
The
Okay, the election. Yep,
Where
yep.
we start?
Federal election.
All sunscreen is 50 SPF these days. There's no more 30 SPF.
Oh,
That's where you have to get to. Yep.
okay. Mike returning to his
Alright.
to his microphone on his side of the desk and getting ready to link those 2 topics. Here we go.
Pretty exciting this week, the election. Hey, Mike.
Yeah, super busy. Like everyone had to go out to vote. I'll
Yeah.
tell you what. The only thing that I care about,
Yeah.
and if a party did this, they'd get my vote.
Okay.
Bring back 30 FPS because sometimes I just want. I don't want 50. I just want 30. So
What's the difference with them, I guess, is
That's
what I
it.
want to know.
So
What's the
that would get
difference?
your vote. That would be the number one thing that you thought of when he talked about the election
Yeah.
is sunscreen ratings.
I was telling my partner while we were waiting in line, and I said to some
Yeah.
of the candidates, "What are you doing about FPS or SPF?"
Frames per second.
That TV station.
Yeah. Well, personally, I just pick whichever sunscreen is on the shelf.
Oh, okay, yeah.
I don't particularly
Yeah.
mind.
Well, I'll see you at the next election.
Is
Is that the spirit of the game?
That was. I think you didn't get to the point that all SPF seems to be 50 these days.
Is that why you were just staring?
That's why I
at
was
me?
still going. I like how speedily you got to the SPF though, although you did
Yeah.
call it
Yeah.
FPS.
Yeah. Okay.
But like, no one would really have that as their core belief for a political campaign, or is that's fine?
I think that builds into it a bit. That it was a
Okay.
little bit of a stretch. You just going straight from the election
Sure,
to
yeah.
SPF.
I'll take that.
So I think
on
that's.
board.
I think where you pipped Jack was the speed, but where you fell down was the logic.
Okay. Yep.
Okay.
But both good.
Yep.
Both
Yep.
good. We've
Next.
got 2 more left.
Isaac.
Okay, last round. So Jack, I'll pick the first one, and
Yep,
you can.
first one.
Australia has the most wild camels in the world.
Yep.
Okay, so that's where you can
That is-
start.
Is that a
true.
fact
That's
or an
facts.
opinion?
It is a fact.
Okay.
And then
No,
I
it
have,
wasn't. There's no question mark at the end of that.
I have to get to the price of a Guzzi Gomez burrito going up from $13.80 to $14.
Wow.
20 cents difference.
Okay.
Okay. Geez, I'm just having to think here.
See,
Austra-
I've already thought of the link.
Really?
But I don't
Whoa,
want
whoa,
interested
whoa.
I'll
to
say
see.
mine
Interested
after.
to hear what it is.
Yeah.
Australia has the most wild camels in the world. Did you know that?
Oh, wow. I
Yeah,
didn't
yeah.
know that. But, in Southeast Asia, they actually eat camel meat. They eat the fat from the humps in the camel.
Really?
Yeah, yeah.
What, are they native to Southeast Asia?
They definitely have them over there. And I think by Southeast Asia, I mean Africa. That's where
Okay.
they eat the camel
Right.
meat.
That feels more.
But
normal,
yeah, I think it's not an exotic meat. It's not a It's not a meat like chicken. It's sort of more of the texture of like it's very fatty, so it doesn't have a texture of
the
chicken.
opposite of a game meat, you would say.
Yeah, the opposite. Like I don't think I would like it because I love chicken. Chicken's my favorite
but
meat.
we were talking about camels here.
Yeah, but what I'm saying is that I'm just moving on with the conversation, saying that I love chicken so much.
it's all good.
Yeah. Like chicken is, I order chicken all the time on pizza and pasta, burritos especially. Guzzi Gomez burrito chicken, the best, better than the beef one.
Better than camel.
The only gripe I have with Guzzi Gomez is that they've just increased their price of a burrito from $13.80 to $14.
Yeah.
That was good. That was good.
Okay.
I appreciate the attempted sidetrack.
I feel like I was along for the ride. Like I got so into the conversation you were
that's
having
good.
about the camels.
Oh yeah, that sounds good.
Yeah.
But I was battling the jeopardizing of the conversation, which I
was
was
throwing
trying to
off.
help the conversation along with your guys.
Yeah,
but
I know. Yeah.
I think
Interesting.
Some dirty tactics from Jack.
still didn't work there. That was a pretty good link, Mike. Would you say?
Yeah, it was good.
Did you have a significant?
I was
going to
go the camel meat, so maybe my
interesting.
thought wasn't as original as I thought.
It was a bit of it was an easy one. The last two in the hat, that was probably a bit lucky.
Yeah, well, I guess we'll say with that logic, then the first one was the best. If the last two were hard, yeah, well. Isaac, I just wanted to do a quick one before we finished. My partner is an ecologist, and she goes on field work quite a lot, for a week at a time.
Yeah, the economy.
Trying to find the economy out there. Are there any endangered economies out there?
Yeah.
Some of the ones in the Western world are now.
Oh, wow.
But anyway, so she goes out and studies birds a lot of the time to make sure a development or like a new
So it's
wind
not
farm.
just E. coli. It's all kind of
It's all kind of
diseases
lie.
and animals.
All
yeah.
lie.
Okay.
Yeah. Anyway, so she works with people who specialize in certain areas. And the word is ornithologist, and it is someone who is an expert in birds.
Okay.
And the person she goes with has a PhD in birds, in Australian birds specifically.
Awesome.
So there's about 800 species of birds in Australia. And this guy, she says, can be walking anywhere, hear a bird, and go, oh, that's the bing, blah, 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 whatever it is.
No way.
Yep. And he's just completely insane.
How many of those 800 would you come across over the course of a year? Is it like 10 or over 100?
Over
there's
well,
obviously
depending
a lot
where
of
you
birds.
go, but like you can. It's
not like
would
you
be
just have to
impossible
know.
see all 800.
You don't just have to know magpie, crow, and kookaburra.
No, there's
like,
more. Yeah,
okay.
yeah, and all the variants within them. Anyway,
Oh,
there's
okay.
just this web of species
Right.
and little different breeds and
It's
stuff
the
like that.
magpie-less, black and white-less.
Yeah, that sort of thing. But what I thought would be interesting is someone in the show, aka Radio Mike,
Him over there.
is I would say equally expert at Pokemon. Mike, can you explain what Pokemon is for people that don't know?
I feel like everyone would know.
Everybody,
I think
does
everybody
know
probably
what
does.
Pokemon is.
We know everyone knows
Anyway,
what it is.
but there's a series of different creatures in Pokemon.
Are they? They're
Or
not
pocket monsters, as it is known in Japan.
They're not all birds, are they? Bird variants.
no, but there are bird Pokemon
Okay.
like
And-
Pidgey.
but how many Pokemon are how many Pokemon are there?
There's over 1,000 now.
Oh, okay. Wow.
OG 151, and then we just
Yep.
add on every few years.
Are you?
But I guess it's like birds as well. Like every
Kind of,
few years,
yeah.
there might be a few new birds.
Because when I went to Mike's 6 months ago now, but he had this game on his computer where he could name every Pokemon in the top 150 at lightning pace.
I have seen that. It's very impressive.
And what I thought would be interesting if we got this ornithologist who is a professional PhD identifying bird sounds and
the
Mike
Pokemologist.
identifying Pokemologist, Radio Mike. The only problem is I don't know how good you are at hearing Pokemon
Well,
as
because-
opposed to seeing Pokemon.
Because it would, in the show,
Yeah.
the Pokemon just say their name. So if you gave me an audio of like, Squirtle, Squirtle, I'd be like, oh, is it Squirtle?
Yeah, but out of yeah. Okay. But if we say let's pick the first 800, but I know Staryu, the Pokemon that is a starfish, goes
Yeah.
like that. So like that's harder.
But if Mike's saying most of them just say, like, obviously Pikachu goes Pika Pika. That
Yeah.
even I know that.
Yeah.
So
Well, what I wanted is, what here does this sound fair? We get this ornithologist on.
Yeah.
We pick 10 random birds from the 800 in Australia, get their call.
Yeah.
Then we get the 1,000 or so, maybe the first 800 Pokemon,
Yeah.
sounds fair.
and pick random 10, and then just play and see who gets most out of 10.
But so you're saying like if it is Pikachu
Yep.
and it goes Pika Pika, I go Pikachu? Like is that
That-
what you're
maybe
saying?
so.
do we have to? What if we get this? What if we
Yeah,
get
but-
this orthodontist to listen to the sounds,
Yeah.
and then Mike can just look at the Pokemon or like the
Yeah.
outline of the Pokemon, maybe? Because it's more visual.
But Yeah, but the visual thing I thought would be tough on the podcast because it's people listen audio.
But I think in the games, the Pokemon, when you find them, like you'll see a Charmander and it'll go.
Yeah,
But I want to come out honestly, like I couldn't distinguish that.
Right.
Okay.
So he doesn't come out and go, "G'day, mate, Charmander." Hang
No,
on. Okay.
no, sadly no.
Well,
So maybe
but
it's
no, but the thing about like, what if we just pick like things like Caterpie, which just goes like,
yeah,
like from the show? Is it too weird? I thought it could be a workable idea, but if there's a way we can do it,
I like it if there's a way we can do it. It feels like if the orthodontist has 800 birds on the dome.
It's not an orthodontist.
Yeah, I know. I'm just rolling with it. It's either going to be skewed to, is it a man or a woman?
man,
It's either going to be skewed to him
yeah.
with the sound because he's going to know the sounds, or it's going to be skewed to Mike if we do the visual thing. So how do we even it out?
But
You think there's enough Pokemon that have sounds that we can...
I think so. And also, like, I don't know if he actually does know all 800, but I think that's the test. Like, Mike's had a lifetime studying Pokemon. This guy's had a lifetime studying birds.
Okay.
I think we can find 10 Pokemon noises that don't say Pikachu.
Yeah.
And it's
Well,
just
all
like,
of them except Pikachu.
Yeah, well, exactly. There's 999 of those. But do we think? Well,
I think let's
I'll reach.
give it a go.
I'll ask
the
my
orthopedic
girlfriend. I'll ask
surgeon.
Nikki and see what she reckons if we can get him on because he's probably really busy looking at birds.
Yeah.
In a nice way. And
Hopefully not.
and then we'll oh, there's a conversation I've got to have now.
Time for a knuckle sandwich. No, he's all right.
We'll see what he reckons. If he's in, we'll work out a way to do it. But I'm really interested because you are extremely good at Pokemon stuff.
Thank you.
So we'll play on. Hey, thanks for listening this week, everyone. We're sending our love
No
out.
worries.
Mike, sorry about the stats we had at the start of the show, or
No.
the earlier segment about
But
the other show.
Yeah,
Like,
but congrats on the Comments Hall of Fame as well.
Yeah, yeah,
And
It's been a big Mike show.
big
Big
Mike show.
very
Yeah,
Mike.
A BMS.
Yeah,
Big Mike
BMS.
show.
Tune in next week for maybe another BMS.
Bowel movement
Or a
syndrome.
BJS. Big Jack show.
Oh,
Oh, yeah.
Or
BJ is...
BJ's.
Sounds a bit... No.
bit sexy. Play on.
Okay, Shaggy. Squirtle, Squirtle. Oh, Scoob. Okay, Shaggy. Squirtle, Squirtle.
Okay.
Oh, Scoob.
So Shaggy's the human.